Later. Yeah, Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. This is our second round of our conversation with the community. And what I'm going to do is, as you're coming in the door, please visit to my left in the back. There are some green cards that look like this. They are in both English and Spanish. And what this is this, the printed text, you will find that this is information feedback from our board members. And so our board members have also kind of scaled out what we feel is important and what we see, and to give a summary of the things that we have done as in the district. There are three categories: strengths of the district, greatest needs, critical issues for the district, superintendent desired characteristics. So if you would take the time to look at this sheet, it will be very helpful when you are coming forward to provide your comments. What we would like you to do is to provide input surrounding what you don't see already there listed. And so that will be the information that we will be capturing. Secondly, as important, is that our IT team is working diligently with us to capture all of this information in real time. So when you do come to the podium to speak, know that they're going to be capturing it in those categories. So it'll be very important that they know which categories that you are speaking to or talking to. So you can take a few minutes. We know that some are transitioning from work, and as well as our board members. But you can take this time to kind of study the sheet a little bit and get your thoughts together. And then we will be calling for you to come to either podium. And the podium, we do have translation also tonight. So you will have opportunity to come to my left or to my right. We will do more listening tonight. That is our role, is to listen to you. But we do want to make sure that you all also are mindful of, this is a community meeting, you're a meeting, and so it's very important that other people will be speaking, and so please take that into consideration. But know that you can look over this. This is the input for you to see what we've already done, and for you to add that when you come to the podium. We will be jotting down, taking notes diligently to hear from you. Yes, yes. And so, as I said, this is our second round today. Been a pretty long day, but we were grateful to be able to include the morning individuals that could make it, as well as the evening. And the management team of the district was also involved in another conversation. And then we will also be getting input from our students in the district as well. So they will have an opportunity to gather their information so we can record that. For those that didn't know, we also have a number of people that have taken advantage of giving their input online. So we made sure that that information was available for you online to give input. And so we feel that we've covered a lot of areas, because we know that it is important for our community to give and provide input. So please just look at your cheat sheet for a little bit, and we'll get started shortly. I will sound somewhat like a recorder, but it will be a new, each time it's me saying it again and again. We want to make sure that everybody know that those sheets are over there in the corner to pick those up. So if anyone came in and didn't get one, please make sure to pick up a green sheet. Those will be the three areas we are covering tonight. And also, we know that, this is our new wonderful. Some of you haven't visited our board, new board community room, but our Dr. Margaret Hill Community Boardroom. And for those of you that have not visited our new area, hopefully you are comfortable and you like our facelift. And being again that this is a special board meeting, and we are covering these three basic topics. There also we'll encourage if there's other issues or concerns. There are probably blue slips over there too. We want to make sure that we get that information to our staff, but we won't be covering other concerns because this is our agenda tonight. All right, we will call our meeting to order. And we will move to 1.2, Pledge of Allegiance. And if Dr. Margaret Hill, if you would lead us in the pledge.
Thank you. Let's stand, please, and join me as I salute our wonderful flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. We are now at item number 1.3, approval of the agenda.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly second. And we will, yes, we don't have a quorum, so I don't have to do that. Now we're at 2.1, community input. And again, as I mentioned earlier, you all should have a green form. It's in both English and Spanish. There are three attributes or three sections we will be asking you to speak to when you come. And that is the strengths of the district, the greatest needs and critical issues for the district, the superintendent's desired characteristics. We had a great group again this morning, and we're looking forward to receiving more input from you tonight. And so we ask when you come to the podium, which is available on both sides, if you can speak to one of those areas or all where you're going to add what you do not see there. Our IT department will be capturing that information, so it's very important that they know the area that you're speaking from. And I think with that being said, we are ready to receive our speakers. You can line up on the sides, or you can just come to the podium as you have your information. We are ready to receive it.
And if you don't want to add anything to the list, you can also just confirm the things on the list and emphasize the ones you think should be a higher priority.
I'm sorry. In the Spanish speakers, we will ask you to come to this side, and the translator will translate. And don't be shy. Oh, you're still reviewing? Okay, great.
Take your time, we're gonna be
Great.
here
Yes,
for 2
please
hours.
take your time. And as you're coming in the room, please grab a green sheet from the back. That is the areas that we will be talking and speaking on tonight. If you have comments on any of those areas of things that we have missed, we ask you to come to the podium and to give us your information, and it will be captured in real time. All right, our first speaker, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
State my name.
Your name, yes.
My name is Shannon Crossan. Any other info?
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
So one big one for me, I have two children in the San Bernardino School District, and one in another district, and I also work for another district. And one big important thing for me is superintendent desired characteristics, proven track record in effectively engaging parents. So the district that I work for, and this is big right now as far as like social media. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram. In my district, it's a smaller district. Our superintendent is regularly on Instagram, himself, not the district Instagramming. He's regularly tweeting out things. He's boots on the ground. Like he regularly will say on Instagram, hey, shout out to me who wants me to visit their school. So he's on Instagram, he's on Twitter. And this is important because there's been times where with my kids in school, I can't get past the guard at the gate, like the secretary here. I can't get past her to speak to a superintendent. I can't get past the secretary to speak to a superintendent. I can't even get to assistant superintendent for issues, for anything. I can't even get an email from response from any of you. Ms. Rogers, you have responded to some of my calls, but there's times where I need things to go higher than a principal and I can't. So there's times where I need access to a superintendent and I can't. My daughter said she didn't even know who the superintendent was. She's now at the district with me. He's there regularly visiting her ASB. She knows who he is. I need more hands-on. I need to know who our superintendent is. I need boots on the ground. I need more access to him. I understand it's a large district, but there's a lot of rhetoric that goes on. You have an assistant superintendent, you have someone under him, and under him, there's a lot. We just more hands-on.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks.
so much. So for those of you coming in, I think we have a speaker coming, but for those of you coming in, please make sure you grab a green sheet, look at that green sheet, decide if there's things on there that you would like to add, and we ask you to come to the mic and provide us the input that you would like to give tonight.
And also, I'd like to just say for myself, I think it is important to have access. And I'll give you my cell phone number. I thought everybody had it. What is 909 800 0318? 909 800 0318. So you have an issue or concern, you can call me. If I don't answer because I'm at work, you can leave a message or you can send me a text and I'll respond.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Felicia Jones Cope. Delighted to be here tonight and certainly grateful for the opportunity to provide input on the superintendent search. I'll speak to a couple of areas to the strengths of the district. I just want to affirm several pieces here. I think that the district is very focused on diversity and of really school and community partners and really nurturing those relationships. And I think there's been a substantial investment in parent engagement that I think is really a strength of the district and hopefully will continue to be a strength. I know that the district has been really focused on public-private partnerships and really partnering with community-based organizations to support student achievement and parent engagement, and I think that that is also a strength that should be emphasized. I also think there's been a focus on equity, particularly for students who have struggled and have been part of the achievement gap, and there's been a real investment in trying to bring equity for students. And so I think that that's something that is a strength that, again, should continue to be part of what the district prioritizes and the next leader should prioritize. I know that there is an interest in increasing graduation and college rates, and I do think that we could be a bit more explicit about expanding A through G access and completion rates, and that I think should be lifted up as a critical issue and a need. I think the district has made a commitment to addressing school climate and reducing suspensions and trying to decriminalize our schools, and I think that that should also be continue to be expressed as a need in an area where we can continue to deepen our work in that area, so that we're looking at students who are disproportionately affected by school suspension, and continue to sort of make gains there. The final area, I think, in terms of the desired characteristics, there are so many wonderful things about Dr. Marsden, and I think they're all illustrated here. But I would say that, you know, it'd be really great for the next leader to continue to have an interest in parent and community engagement, and really see parents as authentic supporters and contributors. One of the things that I would hate to see is a leader who would come in and who loves the kids but hates the parents. And I think that sometimes, you know, is you see how that plays out and how they make decisions, where they prioritize investments, where they prioritize their time, and how they speak about parents. And I think it's really important that we have a superintendent who really sees all parents as an asset, no matter their socioeconomic background, whether their level of engagement, et cetera. I think that that's really important. I also think that we have a lot of really great staff in our district already that I hope, I don't know if at some point we are going to at least have a sense of who is in the pool, but we've got some really great folks who've been already courageous leaders in the district, and I hope that they will be seriously considered. They've put in a lot of sweat equity. And I think we should not overlook what we have as an asset in our district in terms of our own workforce and those who are already in leadership positions who have a demonstrated track record for making courageous moves for students, for parents, and for community. And I'll leave it there. But I do want to know, at some point, will there be another opportunity to engage in a more a substantive conversation about who the candidates are and where we're looking at our pool of potential candidates from. I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. So again, for those of you that just walked in, we ask that you would get one of the green sheets in the back of the room. You will find on that green sheet 3 sections, and in those sections, you will see input that the board has already given under those sections. And we're asking that you would look at those, examine that, and if there's anything missing, please provide us that input, and it will be captured from our IT department in real time. Welcome.
Buenas tardes a todos,
Good afternoon to everybody. Good evening.
miembros del board y padres presentes.
Good evening to the members of the board and to the parents who are present.
Mi nombre es Liliana Valenzuela, soy madre de 3 hijos en el distrito, pertenezco al Departamento de Educación Especial.
Yeah, I'm a mother of 3 children in the district that involved with special education.
Como madre de niños especiales,
As the mother of special children,
considero la importancia de que nuestro superintendente esté abierto a crear una cultura de inclusión
as a mother of special education students, I think it's important that our superintendent creates a climate of inclusion,
esté abierto a crear nuevos programas
is open to creating new programs,
funcionales para nuestros estudiantes,
okay, functional programs for our students,
basados en su discapacidad y necesidades,
based on disabilities and needs
que los lleven al éxito académico.
that would take them to academic success.
A mí me gustaría que considere
I would like you to consider
en que comprenda la necesidad en nuestra comunidad,
in understanding the needs of our community
en enfocarse
and focusing on
en revisar nuestras pólizas de seguridad
in reviewing our security policies
de nuestro distrito.
of our district.
Sobre todo,
Above all,
en dar atención a las situaciones de los padres de nuestra comunidad,
giving attention to the parents in our community,
que son de mayor prioridad.
which is the greatest priority.
Los cuales saben de primera mano
Who know firsthand
las áreas que necesitan mejoras.
the areas that need improvement.
En lo personal también creo voy a repetir que necesitamos un superintendente multilingüe
Okay, we need a multilingual superintendent
para una mejor comunicación e
Rep-
interacción con él.
for a better communication and interaction with him.
Solamente por último, quiero agregar
Lastly, okay.
que una persona con empatía y de gran corazón hace la diferencia. Gracias.
That with a person with empathy and a big heart makes a big difference.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to speak from my heart regarding the next, my recommendations, my humble recommendations. So I'm actually a mother of 5, and I have one child. She's 18, in a county classroom, so she has severe needs. So she has an IEP and severe needs. I also have
Try to talk in the microphone.
sorry, yes.
Thank you.
Also have four other children who, 3 of them are on the dual language immersion program, which I'm very grateful for, and they're doing very well. My 9th grade student, she almost had a perfect score, on the CAS, off by 1. But anyway, there's great programs. I'm just saying this, that it's a great program, and I'm very grateful for that program. I'm actually also a special education teacher, and I work at the middle school level. So based on my children's progress and based on my students' progress, I noticed that there's a need for social emotional learning. Now, I am on my school's PBI's team, which is Positive Behavior Intervention Supports, and so I'm doing a lot of research to find out how to best support my students and my children as well. So what I have noticed is that a lot of my students, well, I won't say a lot, but some of my students, they shut down. They just have a mental block and they shut down. And so some of those students have had there's been historical trauma. They're black and brown students, and there's been historical trauma. And if you've studied epigenetics, you know that there's actually things that happened. It's something that happened to the DNA from all the trauma that has happened. And so based on that, they have sometimes very negative thought patterns. And so it's very important, the social emotional learning piece is very important, so that whoever our superintendent is, so that person will focus in on making sure that the teachers, the staff are aware of these things and are able to actually focus in on retraining the mind through social emotional learning, like positive affirmations, restorative circle, things like that. So those type of interventions. So I have noticed that the district is doing some great things, like with the Black Summit. There were some speakers that talked about this. I think Dr. Nikki Elliott was one of them. Amazing, and really gave some useful information to not only help the students, but also help the parents, because the parents are our students, first educators. And so if they're going to be reinforcing things that we're teaching them to improve their social emotional health so that they can access the academics, because if they're shutting themselves down because they're not healthy mentally, then they're not going to be able to access that education and progress. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Good evening, everybody.
Mi nombre es Erika Delgado de Ramos
My name is Erika Delgado de Ramos,
y yo soy vicepresidente del
and I'm the vice president
del comité CAC.
of the CAC committee.
Voy a compartir con ustedes que en los últimos 6 años
I'm going to share with you in the last 6 years,
hemos establecido el distrito con padres y estudiantes y empleados 9 estrategias.
we have established with parents and students, 9 estrategias?
9 estrategias.
Yeah, 9 strategies.
En las cuales quiero mencionar algunas que considero que el nuevo superintendente necesita darle seguimiento.
I would like to mention some that the new superintendent should follow up on.
Seguridad.
Security.
Creo que es muy importante que se establezca un presupuesto en el cual haya seguridad antes de la escuela y después de la escuela.
Yeah, I think it's important that it should be taken into consideration in budgeting security before and after school.
Y para esto, si nuestro nuevo superintendente
And for this, our new superintendent
conoce o vive en el área,
knows or lives in the area,
creo que sería un poco más fácil
that it would be a little bit more easy
entender la necesidad
to understand the need
que tenemos especialmente en las preparatorias.
that we have, especially in the high schools.
También necesitamos al superintendente
We also need for the superintendent
comunicarle
to communicate to him
que las familias
that the families
tenemos en ocasiones mucha necesidad
have many needs
para que nuestros hijos se les haga un plan individual.
for children to have an individual education plan
En el cual le puede ayudar
in which
para que ese estudiante pueda realizar su carrera académica.
in which the student is able to carry out his academic plan.
Ejemplo,
An example,
aún existen
there
estudiantes
exist students,
de preparatoria
high school students,
que aún no se han reclasificado.
that haven't been reclassified.
Y también existe en nuestra cultura
And also exists in our culture,
los estudiantes newcomings, the newcomes,
newcoming students
y es una necesidad que existe en nuestro distrito.
is a need that exists in our district.
Quiero continuar compartiendo,
I want to continue sharing,
involucrándome
being involved
en este distrito
in this district
porque sé
because I know
que estamos cada día
that we are each day
mejorando
getting better.
y tenemos muchas cosas para compartir con nuestro nuevo
And
superintendente.
we have a lot of things to share with our new superintendent.
Un distrito multicultural,
A multicultural district,
un distrito donde los padres tenemos mucha pasión
a district in which the parents have a lot of passion
y nos gusta ayudar a nuestros superintendentes, maestros, mesa directiva. Y sí habemos muchas familias muy felices de pertenecer al distrito de San Bernardino.
Yeah, and we'd like to be able to help the new superintendent, the teachers, the board, and there's many families that are really happy to get involved and serve.
Y en ocasiones no es el lenguaje, en mi opinión y en mi experiencia, porque yo he podido estar con alguien que habla totalmente solamente inglés. Ups.
In my experience, it isn't just language, because I've been able to be with people that speak only English,
Y me entiende más que un latino.
that understands her better than a Latino.
Yo creo que más bien un superintendente de grande corazón.
We need a superintendent with a big heart.
All right? Thank you. Ese es mi comentario. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. This is my comment. These are my comments.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Evening,
Evening.
Madam President. How y'all doing? Joseph Williams, San Bernardino Community College Board. And I just wanted to make a plug for college access and having a person that understands the partnerships with community college. We're going to be in a similar situation, looking for a leader shortly, and having a person that is concerned about the steps after high school and making sure that we have solid partnerships between our districts and creating opportunities for students to go to the next level. Within our district, we currently have the College Promise Initiative, where students can get their cost of education covered. And so it's a tremendous opportunity for our districts to have partnerships to have upward mobility for folks. And so, again, I just wanted to, just make a plug for the partnership between our districts and, holding us accountable to work with you all, whether it be dual enrollment, whether it be career pathways, but a leader who understands the need for community college and the benefits that it can provide for the students that are in it. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, there is a green card, green sheet. Oh, we have a speaker coming. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you so much for hosting us this evening. I actually get to wear a couple of hats in the district. So my name is Summer Steele. I'm at Gear Up at Cal State San Bernardino. So we've been a partner here with the district for several years through the Office of Pre-College Programs, but Gear Up specifically, we were awarded a 2014 grant. Our cohort is now all of the seniors who are about to graduate. So we'll have some real exciting data to be able to share with you all very soon about just the great things that they're doing. I'm also a parent of a second grader in the district. So like I said, I get to wear kind of a couple of different hats, so I see things through a few different lenses. But one of the things I'd like to share is strengths. I think that the data has really, or the district has really focused on shifting, making decisions that are data informed. And I see that in a lot of the meetings. I see that with a lot of the stakeholders. They want the data and they're sharing the data. So I can really appreciate that. I also think that, I'm trying to read my own notes here. I'm not sure, someone earlier talked about trauma-informed instruction and interventions, and I do feel like there has been a move towards training staff, students, even community members. We had someone actually come out to train my team on trauma-informed practices. So we appreciate that and that move towards it. As far as the greatest needs, I'm going to echo what a lot of others said before me, and it shouldn't be no surprise coming from an outreach program at a college and at a university. I really think that we need to further define college readiness. The district has made great strides in the graduation rate. We've seen it just increase. But our A through G rates, those who are completing it, that's gone up as well. And we're really happy that this year we think they're going to be pretty high with our students who are graduating. But I think it needs to go a step beyond in that what's happening with our students once they get to college, and are they truly prepared to take on not just the academic piece, but the essential skills development and the essential skills piece, whether it's in college, the workforce. So just making sure that they have that. Um, and I think that that really should tie into creating a culture, an entire culture of college going within the district. We have pockets of excellence everywhere. And having been with Gear Up, we have the great privilege of being at every single high school in the district. We were at every single middle school in the district. And it's pretty clear to see that there are some distinct differences in every single school. And so I think it would be great to have a leader who could come on board to really create some cohesion so that it's not just these pockets of excellence and this really great growth in some schools, but that it's really available to all of our students at whatever school they choose to go to. And I think that's, someone mentioned partnerships. I agree with that. I think that the superintendent should definitely be someone who is willing to serve on lots of community committees and really be involved and invested in the communities and partnerships with the colleges and different businesses. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Good evening.
Thanks to everyone for holding this. As some of you know, I am a former parent of 2 students within the San Bernardino Unified School District. And as far as the strength, I've seen a lot of growth within the time that my children have been part of the district for over 15 years. And so I just want to just applaud everyone for the commitment of serving our parents and our students. But in regards to how one of the things that I would like to lift up, and I haven't really heard it quite lifted, that would kind of coincide with a lot of things that have been lifted for our special ed, college and career readiness, and college preparation, is the LCAP. We have a plan in place that have been implemented within our state and within our school district for over the past 5 to 6 years, and we've seen some growth. So a couple of things that if we really kind of focus in on the LCAP and what that means as far as building our relationships with our parents, I really feel that we can really increase our outcomes that we want to see within our district. And one of the things, just to piggyback off the young lady who just left, is to say that we should not still have pockets of excellent, exceptional schools within our district when we already have models. So I would like to see a superintendent come into our district that's going to be very intentional. They have a proven track record of what they have done as far as with the LCAP, how they actually curated not just pockets of schools, but clusters of schools of excellent, sorry, long day, but schools that's really prepared our students to go into the second level, whether it's going to be a trade or a continued education as far as, going to college and, getting a higher degree. One of the things also I would like to see within our next superintendents, and I do applaud Dr. Morrison for all the engagement that he done, as far as going out to community events that's really around education. But also if you go and I know people times are very, very tight, but if you really want to engage our community, especially coming into whoever's coming in, if they're from outside our district or someone who's already been engaged but been heavy involved in just the educational piece, is get to know your community. Because when you really get to know your community, you can actually understand the needs. So one of the asks that I would like to see in the future is within a new superintendent is someone who's going to be more strategic how they do the outreach as far as the LCAP. It's great that we did the summits, but they were always out of a time that was at Indian Springs or another location. With the funds that come in, we should be more strategic and have a superintendent that would be more willing to actually come up with a plan to do these LCAPs and engagements at individual school sites and have them rotate where we can actually get real parent engagement, what that look like, what those individual schools needs, and to actually cater the LCAP funding to what it's supposed to be in parent engagement to make sure our students are successfully ready to engage in life. So that's what I would like to see in our next superintendents. Thank you.
Thank you. If you are still studying the green sheet, as I mentioned before, there is a green sheet that everyone can pick up when you come in. There are 3 areas that we are covering. You will see the printed area has what the board thus far has discussed, and there are lines available for you to add into any area you see fit. Welcome.
Good evening, President Rogers, board members, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Volkmer. My name is Trayvon Martin. My day job is with the California School Boards Association. I represent all 33 school boards in San Bernardino County and 14 districts in Inyo County as well. And so I want to start off with the strengths of the district. I have looked at a lot of districts' LCAPs. I have been at district meetings where they present LCAPs. They bring up parents who have participated in LCAPs. And I have to say, by far, San Bernardino has the most fingerprints, the most diversity on their LCAP. So that is one of the strengths of your LCAP, and also the LCAP process that you guys have used with the school sites doing it, the district level doing it, management doing it. Now it's a statewide model. So the emails that I send out to my board members has that same exact model that you guys started here. So I want to commend you guys for doing that. I want to say that's one of the strengths of the districts. I loved how you guys had a community engagement plan at first and then folded it into the LCAP. Very smart idea. Also, I would say the strengths of the district are the employees. The employees at our school sites care about our schools. They care about our kids. They care about the community. Our principals, you see it all the time, go above and beyond to create community partnerships for our students, for our schools, when they see needs that they can't necessarily tackle on their own. Because again, their teachers are paid to teach. It is really good to have them to be able to, do small group counseling and things of that nature, but that's not their job. Their job is to teach. So that is a very positive strength of the district. I would say the career pathways. I had the pleasure of hosting a meeting with career pathways countywide with districts coming from the high desert, low desert, inland valley, and they were really taken by the work that San Bernardino did. You were in attendance, President Rogers, and also Dr. Hill, you were there as well, and you saw all the questions they had on how they can implement that in their district. So I would say career pathways is a huge strength of the district. We want our kids to go to college, but we want them to also be able to get jobs, high quality paying jobs out right when they graduate from high school as well, while they're going through college. That way they don't have to have student loans, when they get to the universities and CSUs. So I would say that is a huge strength of the districts. One of the greatest needs, I do recognize, the district, San Bernardino has one of the highest graduation rates within the county, within the state. That is a awesome thing. However, I think we need to go beyond just focusing on graduation rates. I, as you know, have a lot of friends who work in the district and work on school sites, and kids tell them all the time, well, we're just going to take A+ so we can graduate. But they're not really learning the content. So we need to really hone in and make sure that our students who are graduating know the content. Also, when they get to college, they don't have to take the remedial courses, because that takes up a lot of time for them, is taking those remedial courses. So I think we need to go a step further and look at that as well. Also, one of the needs that I wrote down is to continue to empower teachers, teacher development. I didn't see that on here. I think teacher development is really crucial, especially, classroom management. My wife is a demonstration teacher, and one of the things she said she gets asked by every single teacher who comes in her classroom is, how do you get your kids to sit down? How do you get your kids to engage? How do you get your kids to listen? She has wrote 0 referrals in the 4 years she's been at Parkside, very little referrals at Lincoln, and she attributes that to classroom management. And so I think classroom management is a huge piece, and we should look at making sure that our teachers have the tools to do classroom management, but also making sure that they have the backing from the administration to make sure that they can implement those classroom management, and making sure the district then in return has the backing of the administrators who are empowering their teachers to make those decisions in the classroom. The characteristics that I would say for a superintendent, it echoes a lot of what everyone else up here said. I really want to give kudos to Dr. Marsden for the great job he's done, as a superintendent, but also as a great human being. 3.5 years ago, some of you guys would recall, I was in the morning getting ready to turn into the parking lot here when a car came up behind me, hit me. It was actually December 3rd, right after the terrorist attack. And Dr. Marsden was getting ready to walk in the building. He ran over. The guy got out of his car. He ran. I was getting ready to run after him, although my back and stuff was hurting. Dr. Marsden grabbed me, gave me a hug, told me don't run after him. He called Chief Paulino. They set up a containment grid. They found him. But then later on that evening, when there was the next day when there was a board meeting, he came up to me, gave me a hug, wanted to make sure I was okay, asked me about my car, asked me did I need a ride to work, So we really need a superintendent who not only cares about the board business and the administration business, but cares about their employees, cares about the community. They're accessible to the community. They're on the school sites. I would say that's a huge thing, is superintendents being on the school sites, and I also want to plug this really quickly. I know a lot of people want, the superintendent to come from San Bernardino. They want them to come from San Bernardino County. But I always say, I always look at it like this. Companies overseas, companies in different states hire individuals from California. They hire individuals from the United States all the time in China for their product development. Why? Because they understand the product, but they can also take that same product to the next level. So I would say I would like for the board to consider candidates outside of San Bernardino who grew up in the same situations, have the same experiences that San Bernardino has. We're the number 3 on the list. There's a number 1, there's a number 2, there's a number 4, there's a number 5. So there are people out there that know how to do this work, and they know the community of San Bernardino, what it needs, because we don't need someone to come in and fix us. We've had that done several times. It doesn't work. So I would say we need someone to continue to champion education, equity education. We heard the governor say it in his proposal. We need to tackle, finally, once and for all, equity in education. We need to do that. We need someone who's committed to do that. We need someone who's committed to inclusion. We need someone who understands what inclusion is on day one. We need someone who will come in and listen, as Dr. Marsden did, and set up community stakeholder meetings, get to know people, get to know our parents, get to know our staff, and continue the great work that Dr. Marsden and you all as the board has laid the foundation for. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome a past school board member, Ms. Judy Penman.
Hello, Judy. How are you? Okay, we know that some individuals probably came in between speakers. There are green forms that we have for you to review and look and decide if there's some more information or input you would like to provide. We ask you to do that and come to the mic. And we are jotting down in real time, as I said, with the IT department is doing a great job. As you can see, we're going to gather all of this information, and this is helping us to make the decision. So this is your meeting and your input, which is very valuable, and we encourage you to come and provide us what you feel or see is missing. And again, we just ask you each to please be mindful of the time. This is your meeting, as others come to speak. Thank you. I know many of you are studying this. In the beginning, we did give others a little bit of time to kind of look through the sheet and see, what we already had reflected. So we we do a pretty good job at listening and capturing, and so far we hear you and we are adding away. So again, it's your friendly announcer to remind you that you can come forward. We are definitely waiting, and we know that some of you may have been here earlier this morning, and we had another nice group earlier today, and a lot, is my understanding, have went on the internet and have provided information there. So we have made sure that there are multiple ways to capture all of this information because it's very important to us. You are our community, you are the voice, and we want to make sure that we are representing you, your voice.
Also, just reflect on what you've heard, but also think about what are the characteristics that you would like to see in our superintendent, the next one? What are the needs that you see of our school district? You can note them. Gwen has said that several times, but I know you guys are sitting there thinking, what can I say? So I'm just trying to also support you in terms of, también los invitamos que vengan a presentar sus sugerencias. Por favor.
Okay. Come forward.
Hi, hello. My name is Jorge Heredia, and the only things that I wanted to add was looking at the strengths of the district. I remember that the district had community roadshows. For me, those were amazing. I think those happened about 3 years ago or somewhere along those lines. But I remember when those happened, and for me, this was at a time when the city was, going through the whole bankruptcy process, and for the school district to be willing to do that and to hold these community forums was for me very powerful and impactful. And to see representatives of the school district, I believe it was Aldo Ramirez, I believe, who was moderating those forums. And again, those forums to me were very powerful. So one thing that I would probably add, or I think one of the strengths that the district has shown that they're capable of, is being a school district that is engaged with the city and encouraging civic engagement and community involvement and community input. And again, forums such as these are, I think, very valuable and powerful. When it comes to critical issues for the district or a need that the district might consider, programs for students that focus on leadership skills and public speaking skills. Out of my own personal experience, it's having gone through the San Bernardino Unified School District because I finished high school here. I think as I've grown older, I've had to develop public speaking skills, and I feel like if something along those lines were more promoted or enforced or during school hours or school time, that would have been really helpful. And so programs to focus on leadership and public speaking skills for students, and kind of making that for all students and not just specific, clubs but encouraging that for all students. And then for superintendents, some characteristics I think I would like to see are a sense of continuity, because I think there has been a lot of good things that have happened with current superintendent Marsden, and I know that when the announcement came, a lot of the teachers that I work at the school that I work at, I know a lot of teachers were, teachers who have been there for years. They say that they've noticed a great difference, a good changes that have happened in the time that Mr. Marsden has been serving as superintendent. So I think whoever comes in and kind of steps into that role, I think a sense of continuity would be good, and to build. I would like to see whoever does that, whoever fills that role, to kind of continue building relationships with the local community colleges. The what's happening at the middle college school side, I think, is wonderful, and I would love to see similar programs kind of be implemented throughout the rest of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
I just came up here to say that I really liked what you guys said about like what you want to see in superintendents and stuff. Like I'm not at the moment. I'm at in the San Bernardino School Unified Youth District, but cause I'm in 8th grade right now. I'm going to high school next year. I'm a freshman, and I want to see. And then I want to I was excited, I want to see, like what the new superintendent is gonna like look like, and like I came here because I didn't want to go into school and then I'd be surprised and new superintendent walks on and I don't know who he or she is, and I don't know the way he or she acts and stuff like that. So I really like the things y'all said, and
All right. Thank you so much. You nailed it.
It's our first student input.
Yes, it is. Welcome.
Can you hear me? Oh.
Yes.
My name is Constance. I currently have a 3rd grader in your district. One of my concerns with superintendent is I know a couple people said about safety and our security. One thing I do see is less crossing guards for our children. I know it counts, but most schools only have one, and there's kids coming from different directions that are walking by themselves, that aren't always crossing the street that safe. I know a bunch of kids that go to a 4-way stop and they're just running across, and it would be nice to see a little more security that way. As well as I have worked with adults with disabilities for over 10 years. And one thing is after high school and whatever they have had to learn, there's nothing else. And it would just be more of a help for those with special needs, especially some that are to the point that can learn that in more elevation and advance, that they can just have a little more help to have more than just a day program or anything else within that time and experience different things, because some are just in a room and that's all they have and they're not really mainstreamed or introduced. I see so many kids that don't even know that part of life exists, and that's kind of not fair to them. As far as those that, special needs sometimes goes to those that are deaf students and parents. They don't always have the same opportunities as all the rest of us hearing parents, and coming and seeing and having that information and access, or feeling as though they will be able to have that type of involvement to this level of having a superintendent. That's one thing I would like. And if the new superintendent, as far as programs can go, have something that is for STEM. A lot of other districts are, and it's really hard for our district. I understand, but I'm pretty sure if we, work at it, we all can do that.
You said for what?
Them.
A STEM program.
STEM.
As I read on the thing that you guys are doing, refining the curriculum and instruction programs based on data, I hope that superintendent does take, as far as some data, not just testing, on how kids are learning, what they are learning, because all schools are not created equal as far as how they're learning and what they are learning, and how each student learns, because boys learn different from girls. I know I have a energetic son that does not like to sit all the time. I'm very fortunate though, he's a good student. And I know we're working as a team. They have a few things for Black students and our parents on some things. And honestly, as a parent, I'm getting things for the meetings and stuff like that a week, maybe a month in advance. I get my call, but I've already forgot. It's a long message. I don't have anything else, or I get it that week of, and I've already planned my whole week, and I no longer can participate in the Saturday meeting for Black families and community members and things like that, because I've already planned my week. So it would be nice to have that, and the representation of more Blackness, because I feel like sometimes we're here, but we're not as seen. And I love that, Latin and everybody else has that, but I feel like we're not always seen. And I'll reiterate what some of the other parents and community members have said. It would be nice to have one that is visiting our schools and feel as good about their principals that they're hiring, that they can come and see their schools and see their great work. Our school has been through 3 principals in the last year. So it'd just be nice to have a superintendent that cares about our schools and our principals and come and visit them.
What's your school?
Belvedere.
Thank you. Yeah.
First, I want to applaud y'all for doing this because I don't know if folks really know the level of input to be able to give on a position like this. But just listening to folks, it made me think of AB 705, the multiple measures. Multiple measures is basically removing entrance exams to get into a community college. So in theory, we have an opportunity to provide college level access to all of your high school students. So think about a person that could scale middle college across all of the high schools, or a middle college like program where all of the students leave with an associate's degree or at least college credit. And so I just wanted to add that to you. I'd like to, especially with what y'all pay, it should be a person that can make something like that happen, like be the first district in the state to where all high school students graduate with an associate's degree becomes like the standard. And so I'd like to see a person that can make that happen.
Thank you.
Joseph, what was the bill number again?
705.
It's AB 705.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Angela. Hi. I would just like to have a Oh, I'm from Arroyo Valley. I'm a senior. Yes. I would like to point out the fact that I wouldn't know the superintendent if it weren't for my mom. So that being said, there's a lot of students who don't know what or who the superintendent is. And I feel like maybe having a superintendent who interacts more with the students or holds in school, like sit downs with different kinds of students, because every student is different, can help not only get information from students for the district, but it can also help students see that the superintendent isn't just some person who stands up and represents the school, but they're also a person who's willing to listen to what they have to say. Like the young man, I don't know if he's still here, said on the public speaking, how some students struggle with public speaking. It's hard for some students to stand up here and say what they're feeling or their different ideas. So maybe having the superintendent go speak to the students and having him sit with the students might help the students like open up a little bit more, and it will help them recognize who their superintendent is. That's just my idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Rosa Loera, and it's not only for the superintendent to come to the schools. It was the surprise of me going to a school and saying, well, Dr. Barbara sent me here, and they're like, who's Dr. Barbara? And I was like, you don't know who's Dr. Barbara? Oh my God, look at your board right there. She's a board member. And it's not only for Dr. Marsden to come and present himself to the students and to the staff. It's for the whole cabinet too, the whole members of you guys to come and introduce yourselves to the schools, because a lot of people don't know who you are. And it's good for you guys to be recognized for others, for the students, not only for the parents, but for the students to know who you guys are. Because I could tell my son, okay, I want you to go to school because I want you to be like, for example, Dr. Baltimore. And he's like, who's Dr. Baltimore? And oh, he's a board member, and he's not gonna know who is it. So that's why it's good for you guys to come to the schools and let the kids know who you guys are. And we could set up a good sample of you guys with our kids and say, we want you guys to go to college because we want you guys to be like them. So that's one of the things. The other is like, I've been struggling a lot with my community, trying to get sidewalks and trying to get the way of the kids crossing the way from one side to the other side to the school. And we tried to get something to be done in our community, but we didn't get no support from the city. So I say if you guys support us, if the district support the schools, we might get some support from the city too. So not only it's for the benefit of the students, for them to have a safe route to school. And if you guys get involved with the schools and getting all those sidewalks and getting all those crosswalks and getting all, like the lady said, we don't have enough cross guards. We only have one for 700 kids. So when you're out there, you see how they struggle to cross the streets. The cars run like it's a freeway, and we're right there looking at the kids and wait, you have to wait until he gets a little bit more of the kids to walk them through. But they don't want to walk all the way to the corner because we don't have a lot of spaces to cross them. So that's one of the things that we're been asking for help. We're been struggling to get the city to help us. And that's one of the things that you guys, the superintendent could look at that too, if there's a lot of help from you guys to us. And not only the parents working, if the district will work with us too. And there's something else, but it blew on my mind, so I'll be back.
Let me just say to you, in terms of the crossing guards, right now the school district pays for all the crossing guards. When the city went through financial times, the district made the commitment to pay for the crossing guards. When additional crossing guards, you can put a request in through the district, and they'll go out and do an assessment to determine.
I've been having my kids for the 12, almost 14 years in this district, and I fought for a crosswalk for 10 years for Vermont.
Yeah, we don't do crosswalks, just to
No,
crossing guards.
the cross guard, and I fought for one for 10 years, and I keep on telling my my school, can we get one? Can we get one? There's no money. There's no money. So I told my principal, okay, I'm gonna be a volunteer to cross the kids, and she's like, you can't. Well, why not? I'm gonna be a volunteer, and she's like, no, you have to get this and this and that, so you can't do that. Okay, finally, 2 years ago, you guys gave us a crosswalk guard. So finally, we got one, but it's only one for 750 kids. It's only one for one corner, and the schools, they have like 2, 3 corners, and they struggle a lot. The kids struggle a lot to cross. So that's one of the things that you guys should look into it too. I know we don't have money, but
We have money.
there's always something right there that we
Always.
could use.
I
Thank
agree
you.
with you.
Thank you.
I just want to make a comment about Vermont. Vermont is not in the city, it's in the county. And we have been in contact with the Highway Patrol about that area. So just want you to know that we are aware of it, and we have been talking with the Highway Patrol. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna do it in English this time. I think it's really important to see, because we have a lot vacancy for employers. We're waiting for more teachers, we're waiting for more principals, we're waiting for, and I remember right now, because the last time I asked Dr. Del Marcin to please look in the position and open for hire hiring people, and he started to do it. So in that time, I think if I'm not wrong, almost is like a 4 or 5 years. So I think it's really important for the new superintendent try to cover that position. And just, for example, me, I decide to stay with my kids to support them academic and they dreams and goals, right? But my daughter, the younger one, she's gonna graduate for high school in 2 years. Now I'm come back to school because I want to work later. And I'm gonna live almost, well, that's what I pray for. I live in maybe 72 years, so I have life to work. And I want to ask him for that kind of opportunity for parents like me. They involve first one for the children's, happy to be success. Later is coming our opportunity for us, like me. I want to apply, so I like to the superintendent know some people is ready to work. Some parents is ready to work. That's why when I comment to you, I hope you understand. Yeah. Thank you
Hiring
so much.
parents.
Yes.
We got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
Hello.
my name is Lolita. I come from Anton Elementary School, and one proposed I wanted to say is that the cell phones they distract a lot the students. Cause when I was in first grade, I went to the bathroom and I saw a girl that had a phone, like looking at her phone, like right here on the pocket. And I was like, that's private. That's that. So that's one, and the other one is the toys. Like 2 days ago, we had an assembly about don't bring in toys to school, and they keep bringing toys. Today, Jonathan, my friend, bring a
No names,
a ball from football. He got in trouble, and they bring LOLs and that's it.
So first
Wow,
graders bring
thank you.
phones to school? Do first graders bring phones to school?
Yeah, everybody has phones.
Right. Well, that will log under our critical issues.
That might be a problem.
Okay, we got that. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, good night. My name is Dora Espinosa. Um, I I speak English a little bit
Okay.
because I learn in English. I've been here 4 years, and I excited because the new superintendent is new, and I think he has new strategies for everything, everything problems, um, at in all district. And I think one that one needs in this district is um, many parents no no
You can say it in Spanish.
Okay, she wanted to give it a try, but he will translate for you.
okay okay. Para mí es muy importante la asistencia de los padres
For me, it's important for the parents' attendance
en todas las reuniones que hacemos en la escuela,
in all the meetings that are at school.
ya sea de APAC,
We have
de
APAC,
SSC
the SSC,
o ILAC.
or ELAC.
A mí me gustaría que todo el equipo que va a tener el nuevo superintendente busquen nuevas estrategias de cómo hacer que los padres se interesen por asistir a las reuniones escolares.
Okay. Something that's important for me and, in all the meetings and stuff is this, for the superintendent to have new strategies to see how get the parents involved.
Algo que es muy importante para mí, hacerles saber a ustedes, es que muchos padres de hoy en día no se dan cuenta lo que sus hijos necesitan para poder graduar.
Yeah, for many parents, they don't know what their children need to, in order to be able to graduate.
Mis niños, la niña está en tercer año y el niño está en primero. Pero yo he platicado con amigas que ellos tienen sus hijos en high school y en middle school y ellos no saben qué requisitos tienen que cubrir ellos para poder graduar.
Okay, yeah, my daughter's in third grade and I have a son in first grade, but I've talked with many of my friends and they don't know what the requirements are for their children in order to graduate. And, yeah, they have children in middle school or high school.
Sí, yo les he comentado, tú sabes de los puntos que él tiene que tener en matemáticas o en ciencias para que él pueda graduar o de las materias AG. No sé qué es eso, me dicen.
Yeah, I've asked them, do you know what type of grades they need in different types of classes in math or science in order to be able to graduate? And they aren't aware of the requirements.
Otro de los puntos importantes para mí son lo que es tratante a la reclasificación.
Yeah, something that's important for me is in regards to reclassification.
Mis hijos están en programa dual,
My children are in the dual immersion program,
del cual estoy muy orgullosa porque ellos no olvidarán sus raíces.
which I'm very proud of because they don't forget where they've come from, their roots.
Y es una de las cosas que hoy en día se está perdiendo porque los hijos se están avergonzando de que sus padres sean mexicanos o sean latinos.
Okay, this is something, a lot of situations, the children are ashamed of that their parents are Mexicans.
algo muy importante para mí es que este año cambió el sistema, tengo entendido que cambió el sistema para la clasificación de los estudiantes para reclasificar.
Yeah, something that's important to me is, according to my understanding, the reclassification procedures have changed this year.
Yo le doy gracias a Dios porque mi hija se reclasificó en segundo año y no estoy ahorita tan preocupada porque en este año yo sé que el examen de LPAC va a ser más pesado.
Yeah, I'm, proud of my daughter. She was reclassified in second grade, but I understand now that the LPAC is going to be even harder this year.
Y yo pienso que es necesario que busquen una estrategia para ayudarle a los alumnos a que se la hagan más fácil, no más difícil.
Yeah, I think there should be a way of looking for a way to help the students so that it'd be easier, not harder.
Por último, me gustaría que no solo eduquen a los hijos, a los alumnos, sino que también haya un apartadito ahí, por ahí como que no queriendo, para los padres.
Yeah, something that's also important for me is that the children just don't get educated, but in some way that the parents would also be educated.
Sí, porque si nosotros no nos damos cuenta qué necesitan nuestros hijos ahora, los muchachos son como, todo se les hace fácil.
So, okay, I didn't get all that, but the children think that sometimes things are really easy. That if the parents aren't aware that, then the parents need to be able to help them.
Yes, they say, oh, I don't care. Oh, after, I don't know.
Okay.
Ajá. Y es importante que nosotros los padres sepamos desde ya cómo ayudarlos a ellos.
Yeah, it's important for us as parents to know how to help them.
No tenemos que esperar más.
Yeah, we don't need to wait, till later.
Yo deseo que el nuevo superintendente sea apegado a todas las necesidades de los alumnos y también a los padres para querer ayudar a nuestros hijos.
Yeah, I want the new superintendent to be aware of all the needs and also, to help the parents. Amen.
Y que Dios lo bendiga en su trayecto.
So that God bless your project here.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, Board President Gwen Dowdy Rogers and
Thank you.
the rest of the board members, also Deputy Superintendent. My name is Terrence Stone. I'm Executive Director of Young Visionaries Youth Leadership Academy. I forgot my glasses in the car, so I was over here struggling.
Stretch it out.
But the first thing I want to say, y'all need bigger font on these papers, at least a 16 to an 18.
An 18.
You can't read the green paper, you need some glasses.
Stay in the car. I'm sorry. But but I just want to talk about just some of the strengths as well as for the district. I think that in the past and as far as I've been here and you guys have been doing great in collaboration. I think the leadership that we had in Del Marsden was very positive and focused. I love the Making Hope Happen. It was very inclusive. It got a lot of people energized and involved and things like that. So I think the next leader still has to have some of those characteristics as far as bringing people together. I think we're the largest school district in the county and maybe the third largest in the state. But just in doing that, that means that we have a lot of kids that we have to educate and make successful. So some of the characteristics I was thinking most definitely highly qualified and effective. We need someone that's going to come in and be ready to roll his sleeves up or roll her sleeves up and get the job done in the community. Also inclusive. Make sure that they're inclusive with other organizations, whether it be the city, the county, community-based organizations, the faith-based organizations, so that teamwork can help this dream work. Um, Also, just knowledgeable about the county and the city and the community as well, to know who you're dealing with when you come here and you're working with our young people. I just wanted to add those things, and also have a strong vision as well for the district. We can't take the vision of the district lightly, or even just look very short term. We have dealing with a lot of situations just within the city, and our kids come from the city. So we need someone that can understand our city and put together a strong vision um, for our school district. Thank you.
Thank you. All without your glasses. Great
Without my
job.
glasses.
Thank you for your input. Welcome.
Everyone,
Good evening.
good evening. My name is Sharon Cedradine, and I stand here as a parent, just excited about what's in store. I want to start off by saying great leadership is not found, it is developed, as we are on a quest in seeking a superintendent for our school district. Great leaders find balance between business foresight, performance, and character. They have vision, courage, integrity, and humility, and focus along with the ability to plan strategically amongst the members of the community. Leadership is represented in many aspects in all of our lives. And with that said, I realize that I am a leader as the first teacher in my home. And I wanted to share with the board and those that are present tonight that which my heart yearns for as parents, that we get back involved and engaged and in representing our families. There's a great deal of work that needs to be done. And as parents, we need to get back on board and support our teachers, our communities, especially our children. I found myself this second semester emailing all of my daughter's teachers as well as the principal of her school, because I mean what I say when I say it. Our world is moving at a very fast pace. And since these scholars are indeed our future, I am fully aware that parental engagement, involvement, and accountability is vital to these scholars' academic success. As the first teacher, I do not allow obstacles, circumstances, or challenges in our lives to prevent my daughter from getting the education she deserves to academically be successful in life. As parents, we are aware of the many changes, expectations, and decisions these scholars will face while seeking a sense of belonging, uniqueness, power, purpose, joy, and a sense of integrity in a very diverse and competitive world. Parents and educators are aware that peer pressure, self-esteem, and overcoming obstacles plays a major part of a student's academic ability to be successful. And I let them know this: I am here and available when you need me for whatever reasons. In our home, C's, D's, and F letter grade is not acceptable. I am here to work with all of you for the betterment of my daughters and all students' academic success. Together, we make hope happen. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, I just want to remind everyone that I think we've gone just a little over an hour, but our goal tonight and this morning is to make sure that we captured the input of our community, of everyone, whether it's parents, whether it's students, whether it's staff, and that is the goal. So you all, if you haven't had a chance to speak, again, that green sheet that was provided was to give you some thoughts as to what we have looked at as a board and for you to provide additional information which is being captured tonight so that we can put that together that will move forward to helping us making the next steps and the next decision that we will need to make as a board. So I do not want to rush the process, but I do want to be mindful of your time. And if we feel that everyone has spoken and we've received input, I know what it's like when you're, it tends to happen at church. I could have got up and said, and we want to make sure we cover that because this board's commitment is to our community. We want to hear from you. So we'll just take a couple of minutes, and if I need to then move to closing it out, we will do so.
Hello. I'm sorry, I may seem a little rude from the back because I'm on my phone, but I'm actually texting a bunch of students right now and asking, like, yo, what do you guys need? Like,
Good.
I need your input right now. Okay, so one of the things that some of the students mentioned is the A through D requirements don't seem clear enough for our freshman year. So we go into our freshman year and we're like, oh my God, high school, yay! But we don't really pay attention to what it is we have to actually pay attention to, which is, passing our classes. And then our senior years, all the students are trying to make up all of those credits that they need to make up, right? So having a bigger or greater kind of, I don't want to say an understanding. No, yeah, having like a greater emphasis on the A through G requirements our freshman year might help a little bit. Um, what's another one that they said? I'm sorry. Um, Oh, the class sizes. They're really big, and sometimes when you're in a big class, having so many students in that class makes it difficult for that one student in the back who isn't understanding anything to raise their hand and say, hey, I know you have 34 students, but I really need help on this. Can you please help me? That's another thing that they mentioned. Um, Oh, and there's one gentleman who likes to emphasize this a lot. He wants to go into auto work, but the counselors always say, no, go to college, go to college, go to college. He doesn't like that there's such a negative stigma on the fact that some students aren't textbook savvy. They like to do more kinesthetic things. So maybe not having such a negative uh, viewpoint on those students who want to go into things like auto work or construction. Instead of discouraging them and going into things like that, maybe encouraging them by helping them find colleges that fit the different career paths they want to go down. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. You all have been great. You've been patient. You've given input. We know that there's a lot of things that go on after 5 o'clock, but just you being here and being the voice, especially our students, we're grateful. What I'm going to ask as we prepare for our closing out of our meeting, I'm going to ask the board members if they would just give a statement or two, or I shouldn't say or two, this is the wrong statement. I'm going to, are you, okay.
I had to come and say this. Okay, I've been working with the teachers as a PTO mom, and I know they struggle a lot by the budget that they gave them to buy their stuff that they need as whatever they need to teach or projects or whatever they need. So in our school, they have us as a PTO to be helping them with buying supplies or buying stuff that they need. But what about all those schools that they don't have a PTO? What about all those schools that they don't have the help that we give our school?
PTO should have to spend their money on supplies.
No, we spend it for the kids. It's stuff for the kids. So we do help because we buy stuff for the kids.
They shouldn't have to pay for school supplies.
Yeah, but like when they do like projects and stuff like that, there's a lot of parents that they don't have the money to be buying stuff for the projects. And there's a lot of teachers that they do like to do a lot of projects and to help the kids to learn because I have a son that he's a visual learner. And because of him, I'm here. And because of him, I had to go and do a PTO so I could be helping the students that did not have the money to buy the supplies. And I know there's a lot of money in the district to be helping the teachers and give them a little bit more of budget to buy their supplies and so they could teach a little bit more, to be a little bit more open with their supplies and not the teacher spending from their pocket. And it's the end of the end of the month and they have to spend buying a whole bunch of stuff that they want to teach, but they have to buy from their own pocket. And it's like, now that I'm working for you guys at the district and I have to go and take 3 reams of paper for each teacher and they're like, that's all you're gonna give us? Well, that's what I was told that I have to tell, that's what I was told that I have to give you. Only 2 rims, 3, that's it, no 5 like last year. Well, that's all they gave us this year. So if we could get a little bit more money for the teachers and help them a little bit more with that budget, please, it will help a lot to give more of them to help the kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kimberly Calvin, Director of Acoma Unity Center. We are an after-school program here in San Bernardino. And first, let me state that I am extremely grateful for all the hard work that you guys are doing, setting out to look for the best leadership that we could possibly find for this district. As everyone has stated here earlier, being a multifaceted district and having many, many needs. The task may appear to be daunting, but we appreciate your effort in trying to make sure that this district does get exactly the person who it deserves. When talking about the strengths, I do believe, as one of the other students actually stated, that we do want to make sure that we are focusing in on trade, and the career pathways has to make sure that we are making it a priority. I think over the years, I'm seeing more students who are just leaning towards that way, period, when counseling them. Somehow or another, when they get to about 10th grade and a half, their focus is there. And a lot of times I'm seeing that they're just not ready to go or wanting to go to college for whatever reason, haven't been able to really pin that all the way down, or what are all the factors that are causing them to not see themselves going to college. Definitely grateful that the enrollment laws or regulations have changed on the junior college level so that they don't have to spend a lot of time with remedial classes. But I think that our partnerships with trade should be something that we really, really focus in on and not make students feel like they're going to wear some type of a scarlet letter or that it is a plan B. It may be plan A for some of them who are more geared to using their hands. And all of us need a mechanic, right? All of us have to use a plumber. All of us need an electrician and someone to fix our air conditioners and those are welcome. Those are great trades to have. And I think that we do need to focus in on that a bit more. As far as relationships go, I would like to see, well, let me go back. In when we did the community engagement event at Arroyo, I saw there were lots of parents there, the Healing the Community event. And I had a thought at that time, if we would move some school board meetings to each campuses, like we were just at Indian Springs for that length of time, correct? And it gave Indian Springs parents real access. If we would, a couple of times a year move the board meeting to where it could be hosted right on the campus of some high schools, I think that we might see more parents come to a meeting. And it would make you more tangible. It would make them feel a little bit special. And I know that as director of ACOMA, I would like to see the same thing when hosting events at ACOMA, that to have your superintendent there and speak to parents and speak to children, just immerse themselves into the culture, into the event, into the neighborhood. It makes a strong change, because then it's not just like the young lady says. So if they don't know, you become more tangible to them. And I think that that's important to show parents that our superintendent, our board members, that everyone is really, really concerned, as you are. But to speak of someone's name on the board and they not know, I just think that we just need to work on that a little bit. And you'd be surprised the relationships, how that type of interaction can go further. And I think that we're already off to a great start. So welcoming everything that you guys already have listed as strengths for the district and the greatest needs, definitely in the area of cultural pedagogy, that we want to make sure too that all students are being represented, all students' needs are being represented and spoken of. When we talk about, family engagement, I think that there needs to be, I've mentioned it before, but I do think that the family engagement centers still aren't reaching everybody. I think that the family engagement centers, when any parent or student walks in, they need to feel comfortable. They need to be able to see themselves represented in the staff, in the material, the literature, and every other material that's being used to make parents want to come into the family engagement centers. To have them and everyone not be using them is not, I know, the intent. And so if we can work on that this year again, or make it a very, very strong effort to have posters, literature, staff, to represent everybody in the building so parents will want to walk in, I think that that would then make everybody a bit more happy too. But I do want to, again, just lastly say thank you for all of your support, and thank you for doing the best that you can to find the best leader and director, superintendent for San Bernardino City Unified School District.
Thank you. So as we prepare to close or adjourn our meeting, I would like to ask the board members if they would like to say something to our community, to our parents, to our students. If you'd like to make a statement, and I'll start with Mr. Tillman.
Of course, I want to thank you all for coming out. I guess it's good and it's bad in another way. We have defined leaders in the district. That's what I noticed today. And this morning's meetings and this evening's meetings, a lot of you are people that we all recognize. And I think we have to understand that a lot of people are counting on all of us in this room, because a lot of folks don't have the wherewithal or the confidence or the ability to be able to come out to a meeting like this. And we understand that. A lot of folks have jobs. A lot of people have things going on in their life that don't permit them to go and give input at a meeting like this. But that does not mean that it's not important to them. And that's what we can't lose sight on. So I really appreciate all of your input. Even if you didn't come up and speak, it's just positive and constructive that you showed up tonight. So I appreciate you coming here. This morning we had a little more people, which taught me something too. There are a lot of people who have the ability to get out in the morning. And I know and I'll give credit to President Rogers, because she really was adamant about having these meetings for inputs and adamant about having 2 sessions. And it definitely was the right thing to do. So I want to thank you all for coming out. Thank you for your input. And we'll continue the dialogue and trust that these 7 board members are going to make the right decision to pick the very best superintendent for our district. That's what our goal is. We heard all the input, but in the end, when we look around and go through the process, it's going to be what we think is the best fit for the district, and hopefully we'll find someone who can come in and be running when they get here. I don't think for a district our size, one of the top 10 districts in the state, I think it's critical that we make sure we find an experienced, qualified superintendent that can take our district to the next level. And I thank you all for being here tonight to help us with this process.
Mr. Gallo?
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. I'm especially encouraged by all the parents that we had come out and share, and some that we've never seen here before at our school board meetings. I know it is difficult to get here, and then it's somewhat intimidating to sit there and come up to the microphone and articulate a vision. I think of our non-English speaking parents and the courage it took to come up and do this and have it translated and everything. It's not easy, and I'll tell you, it was great input. We're not surprised. That's why we as a board really said we need to do this and solicit input from our community, because we always come up with some great content and things that we didn't think about. And it shows also priorities and areas of emphasis and importance. When you come up and share, this is what's happening in my world. We don't live in your world. We're kind of all in our own world, right? And we have our own experiences and things. We live in this community just like you do, but we all have our own individual experiences. And if we don't hear from you, we don't know what your particular experience might be with our school district. We learn everything. We learn new things every day. Customer service is important. We heard a lot of things, just getting back and communication and that kind of linkage to the community is really important. And we want to see these attributes reflected in our next leader. And that's the real key that we learn is we really need a leader. Again, as Danny mentioned, this is a huge district, 8,000 employees, 53,000 students. I mean, this is a big entity to manage, and we need to get the right leader, especially in the environment that we have in the city of San Bernardino, where they're looking really to the school district to be the leadership in this city. And, we're all in this together. We share this together, and we want to make each one of our organizations the best it can be, and hiring the appropriate leadership is it. And we're sure glad we solicited that input from you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President. And just to echo what my colleagues have said so far, thank you to everybody that came out this morning and this evening. Your input is truly appreciated and valuable to our decision. I was thinking about when Mr. Gallo and Mr. Tillman were speaking and us being board members, but before we were board members, we were people of the community. More importantly, parents of students and children who have gone to our schools and grown up in this district. So, for me, when I make decisions, I always try to base them on being a parent first. What does it feel like for our students? What does it feel like for our parents? when we make a decision. What does it feel like and how does it impact our staff? So I always look at it from that lens. In regards to the type of leader, and the characteristics that I've been looking at, we already know we're the biggest district in San Bernardino County, which is huge. It presents a huge challenge. We definitely need, as we've heard, somebody with very strong leadership skills, who is experienced, knowledgeable, possesses capacity to continue what we've been doing. One thing I know a lot of folks are worried about is somebody to come in here and make a lot of change. Well, I don't think any of us on this board are looking for somebody that's going to come in here and rock the boat and change what we're doing, because we've got great momentum right now. We want to keep that continuity going in regards to our programs and our success, but at the same time, we want to build upon that. And there are many areas that we could still improve in. We've heard it from parents and family members, community members this morning. I just got in a little bit late this evening, and I already heard a few things, but we know there's areas in our programs that we have to improve, and we want a leader that's going to come in here and continue to focus on those areas and move that dial forward. So for me, I've seen it up there already, but I want to make sure I echo it and say it. I want to see somebody in our district that values and embraces diversity. They have to be able to do that coming into our organization. That is a must. That is a must. We have a very diverse community here. I actually appreciate and value that. I know with my kids, that's the kind of community I wanted to grow up in, where there's many different ethnicities, many different languages, different levels of socioeconomic status. So they learn respect on many different levels. And to me, that's really important. And last but not least, the individual, our new leader, has to love our city. They have to love San Bernardino. I'm just going to say that. Some people might not think that's important, but to me, it's extremely important that they're somehow rooted here. Maybe grew up here, have family here, want to come to this city, want to be a part of it. One thing I really appreciate about Dr. Marsden is that he moved his family here. That's a big step in anybody's life, to move their family, bring them to a city where they know it's going to be challenging. And so for me, that's somebody I want to look at as well, with all these great characteristics we've described and want, but somebody that loves San Bernardino. So, thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Dr. Hill?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say to all of you who are here this evening, and those who came out this morning, and for those who gave their opinion via the internet, we really appreciate you. And we didn't do this because we wanted to look good. We did this because we want to be good. And we can only be good with your input. It means a lot to us. We are going to look at your comments. We are going to respect your comments. And we are going to make the best decision. When people ask me, who are you going to hire for a superintendent? I always say, I don't know, but you can better believe it's going to be a fair decision when we do. And so what we are going to do is look at all of your information, take our thoughts. It's almost like putting everything in a barrel. We are going to pull out all the good stuff, because we know we have a city that can only move forward if we move it forward. We know that. We know that. It starts with education. It starts with us. I would say of the 200,000 people in the city of San Bernardino, we are the ones who can do it. And we need to take that leadership not only for our schools, but also for our city, also for our government services. We are it, and we know we are it. And we represent a whole lot of people. We represent a whole lot of taxpayers. We represent a whole lot of people, whether they pay taxes, got a job or not. I never, after being in this business 40 years, met a parent who did not want their child educated. So we listen to you, we hear you, and when we make a decision, I think all of us can put on that parent hat and say, is this person good enough for my child? And if there is any hesitation, that's not the right person. And we will have to get back to the drawing board. So with your input, we're going to make a good decision. Believe me, trust the 7 of us, that we are going to do what's right. And we can do that because you are here. And if we know if we do what's wrong, you can let us know. And we want you to let us know. But our intent is to bring you the best person ever to keep this train moving in the right direction. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks to the staff. We appreciate you. And I'm just so enthused with the new technology and everything that we really appreciate all of you being here. And thank you, board members. I appreciate you.
Dr.
No,
Hill?
no, Mr. Tillman, you
No,
can't
this
say
is
anything.
important. You've been in education longer than 40 years.
You're right. I didn't count the other years. But let's just say a long time.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. Dr. Flores?
I want to echo what my fellow colleague board members have said. We're really appreciative of all your input. When we were trying to decide the procedure, usually the community has input at the end, but we agreed that together that it was more important to change up the process and have input at the beginning. And so I'm really proud of us because we changed the procedure. We also trust our HR, Dr. Volkemer, and his department. Usually most districts send out for outsiders to come in and manage the search. We have so much confidence in our own people that we're not going to do that. Listening to all the input this morning and this evening, my heart is just full. All the different ideas just shows the power of collective thought, of collective love, of collective desires, of what we desire, which is best for our kids. It's really important. Mama Kim, you said we need to do more with the trades. We started a little bit with the pathways, but we need a leader that will carry that even forth more. This board, realizes that. And our kids really want those things. They really want, ways of being viable in the community. We need electricians, we need plumbers, we need all the tradespeople want to come in, and they're knocking at our doors. And so I know that's going to be something that we pursue. Parental engagement is real important to me. It's very, very important because as one parent said, I'm the first teacher, I'm the first leader. And we all are. We're all parents. And we want the best for our kids. Not just my kids, but all the kids. And when we invest in each other, we invest in the education, we're bringing vitality to our community. We're planning prosperity. We're planning goodwill and support of each other. We are a very diverse district, and I'm really proud of our parents because they forged together and are forging more unity amongst themselves. And I'm so excited about all the input that you all have given us this morning, tonight, and also people on the web. And so I look forward on January 30th, we're meeting, and we're going to take all the input, and we're going to look at it. And like Dr. Hill said, and everybody said, we are a united board, and we will pick the best person that will be the best leader for it. It may not be a he, it may be a she. We don't know. But we will pick the best person for the position to lead our district. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Flores.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Honestly, I've heard so many different ideas. well, not different ideas, better yet, there've been ideas that we've been pushing for. But parent engagement is one that I heard over and over and over again. And that's one thing I definitely want to make sure that the person that we end up hiring is going to have authentic parent engagement, authentic parent engagement, authentic parent engagement. I think that's crucial. Many of us were parent advocates before we became school board members. And I think it's going to be crucial, the superintendent that we hire understands that, and then also holds those that are in the position, for instance, the parent director that we newly hired, hold her accountable, as well as holding the department accountable in making sure that we are truly engaging our parents the way they should be, and educating them on the various resources and successes, opportunities from early childhood, of course, all the way through making sure that there's those opportunities outside of just graduating high school, like I mentioned earlier, trades and so forth. So thank you all for your input, and believe us that we're going to try to make sure that we find someone that's going to best help our district. We are very passionate. We want someone that's equally as passionate to make sure that this is accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say, keep providing your voice. This was important. We don't want it to stop tonight or from this morning, but ongoing, we want to hear from you in the days and the months and the years to come. This is how we begin to engage. So with that being said, meeting adjourned.